All right. So we got on the screen Nigerian Football Federation board member Honorable Nse Essien, and this is from an interview that was done right after the Super Eagles 1-1 draw against Zimbabwe yesterday. The reason for the interview, of course, the Super Eagles' poor performances lately, but the main order of business was head coach Jose Peseiro's job status with the team. Now, before we roll the clip and also come back with some thoughts, please make sure to like and share this video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let's get it.
Honorable, we're looking at the Super Eagles' road to the 2026 World Cup. 2 matches for maximum 6 points, 2 points. Will it be justified for Nigerians to call for the sack of the head coach, Jose Peseiro?
Definitely, if you check out the internet, almost everyone is asking for the sack of the head coach. It's unfortunate that out of 6 points, we have just 2, and we find ourselves in a very precarious situation. Yes, but when you say we should sack, NFF should sack the head coach, we didn't employ him. This regime didn't employ him. And when you think, come to look at it, it was the sport ministry who employed them, and we're supposed to have paid for their salaries, but up to now they've not paid a dime. And so you sack the coaches down, who pays for compensation? And so that's where we find ourselves. Not a dime has been paid to this coach. We're sending about $70,000 every month. And so if you sack him, you give him responsibilities. Nigeria will also crucify us, but then we're not happy.
What is the solution? What is the thinking of the NFF?
Yeah.
Are you going to respect the man's contract?
Definitely, we have to respect his contract, but if we had the money to give to him, why wouldn't we relieve him? We're not happy. Definitely, we're not happy.
So yeah, kind of a lot of stuff to unpack in the interview. First of all, the part about the NFF not employing Jose Peseiro, the current NFF, which is kind of true. Before they got elected in, he already had the job. So that right there is a fact. Then next he says the sports ministry is in charge of paying Jose Peseiro. And I think about it, sports ministry, that's government, and you just had an election, a new government came into the country. So the sports ministry is definitely different. The new sports ministry is looking at you like, what are you talking about? I didn't tell you I was going to pay anybody. So that probably is the issue right there, especially when he talks about the coach not being paid one single salary, and that's crazy right there. I can't support that. I mean, I'm not one of those people who just say, hey, the coach can do what he wants because he's not being paid. No. If you're doing a job, you agree to do a job, you got to be professional. But at the end of the day, come on now. You can't do a man like that and not pay one single month of his salary. At least act like you're going to pay. But that's the situation we're in right now. And he is saying, if we sack him, who's going to pay for the situation? Who's going to pay his salary and this and that? And I say the same way you sack Raw and somebody, I don't know, you deal with FIFA and let's see how that does. Deal with CAS. But don't tell me about who's going to pay, because you've sacked coaches before and they've taken you to court, whatever. So I feel like however you want to deal with that situation, you can deal with it. But saying who's going to pay, if you feel like the man needs to be sacked and you don't sack him and we end up just falling on our faces, the whole Nigeria is going to pay. So talking about who's going to pay now is really crazy in a peculiar situation that we're in. We're talking about back foot in World Cup qualifiers, going into the Nations Cup, lack of confidence. So I mean, something must be done if we're being honest. Then the crazy part to me, $70K a month. What have I been doing all my life? I should have been coaching. $70K a month, and you've been known to have financial issues, and once you got to negotiate with a coach, all you could get was $70K a month. You should have just gone to look for a star enough coach and seen what you could do with a lesser price, because $70K a month is crazy. I mean, it's crazy for all the financial issues, and you sign a deal like that. knowing what goes on in this country. I mean, you see club size, local club size, they're good for 4 years, then all of a sudden they suck. Why? Because a new government has come in. So, I mean, you know that happens. You know there's a good chance that the new sports ministry will just look at you and be like, I don't know what you're talking about. And we know that FIFA law even prohibits them from doing what they're doing. They don't have to pay for any coach. They don't have to do anything for the national team, because at the end of the day, the government cannot be involved in football. So that's the thing right there. And it's crazy, all this time that the NFF is not paying salary, you think they're stacking up money and preparing for a rainy day, but now you look at them and they're like they don't even have any money. Every time they're like, we don't have money, I mean, when is that gonna change? We need to find, I mean, instead of all these officials flying with these players, why didn't you just put a raffle or something out, like, okay, look, you could pay a certain amount of money to fly with the players to Rwanda to watch the match, instead of all these officials flying with the players and just living the good life when you know that the federation is broke. So it's it's crazy. And then you get to the last part, and he's basically saying that if the money was available, they would sack the coach. And for me, all this just kind of seems like a cry for help to the government to come and save the Nigerian Football Federation. That's what I think it sounds like, because first of all, the NFF doesn't even like people calling them out about owing coaches. Now you're calling the sports ministry out, saying they've not paid at all. So it got to be some kind of pressure tactic to get them to maybe cough up some money to help the federation at the moment. Now, for me, when it comes to the coaching situation, I kind of am on team sack the coach right now. But at the same time, I understand that these things shouldn't be rushed. And you got to also think about who's going to be the replacement. And you can't just turn over things like that. So there's a lot of things to think about. It's not just about the money. You also got to think, do you have a replacement? Do you have somebody that's going to be way better than the coach? Will he come with a good price? Are we going to be paying $100,000? We can't afford that. What coach can we afford? Things like that. A lot of things that come to mind when it comes to hiring a new coach or sacking a coach. In my mind, I felt like I was done, because the performance against Zimbabwe, I just was not happy. I felt like we were dominated. I felt like they created the better chances, and I felt like with some better finishing, it could have looked bad for us. Really, a lot of times when they were losing the ball, I was like, phew, thank God, because I don't think they knew what they had, because if they had just kept pressure on us, it would have been bad. It would have been bad. Really not an impressive performance by us. But at the same time, you got to look at everything. You can't just look at the past few performances. Yes, the past 4 games, not good at all. 1 win, 3 draws. But at the same time, we got to think about the future. We just did something like this with Ghana Raw, and it didn't work out. So we got to get it right this time. We can't miss another World Cup. So we got to make sure our next move be our best move. But anyways, let me know your thoughts about the interview, and also your thoughts about the head coach, Jose Peseiro. Should he stay? Should he go? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. And please don't forget to like and share this video. And also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank y'all for watching. Peace.